African Folklore, How Heron Got a Bent Neck. One morning a jackal was out hunting for something to eat when he noticed a dove perched in a tree above him. The branch was high up and the dove was out of reach from the cunning jackal. Do you see how big the jackal's ears are? That tells us he has a good sense of hearing, and it was with those large ears he heard the dove's little chicks chirping. Aha, he thought to himself, it must be my lucky day, and he decided to trick the poor dove. Little dove, called the jackal, I'm hungry. All I could find for breakfast was some berries and fallen fruit. I fancy meat. Throw me down one of your children for me to eat. I will do no such thing, exclaimed the dove. Then I will fly up there and eat you first, threatened the jackal. He was very convincing, and the foolish dove was now afraid and concerned for the safety of her whole family. The baby birds were too young to fly and would not be able to escape the jackal if he flew up to the nest. It meant that they would all be eaten. So the mother dove hurried to her nest and threw down one of the little chicks. The jackal pounced immediately and ran away with it. The next day, the jackal threatened the dove with the same fate, and another baby bird went down his throat. The poor mother dove wept bitterly. A grey heron was passing by and heard her crying. Why are you weeping? Inquired the heron. My babies, my poor babies, 2 of them have gone, cried the dove. The jackal was here twice and said if I do not give him a chick to eat, he will fly up here and devour me too. You foolish bird, honked the heron and shook her head from side to side. How can he fly up here when he has no wings? You must not fall for his silly threats. The mother dove slept peacefully that night, knowing she was not going to lose any more of her little chicks to the greedy jackal. So the next day when the jackal arrived, she was already waiting for him and refused to part with another baby. Show me your wings, she said bravely, but he could not. The heron has told me you have no wings, and if you have no wings, you cannot fly, she announced while poofing up her feathers. I am safe up here, and so are my chicks. You cannot harm us. Now be off, and don't let me see you scampering around here again. That nosy heron, muttered the jackal while quickly trotting off. I'm gonna get her for poking her beak where it doesn't belong, and for wagging that telltale tongue. He looked everywhere, and eventually found the heron fishing by herself at a secluded little waterhole. She looked down her beak at him as he was approaching. What a long neck you have, said the jackal. What happens when the wind blows? Does it break in half? No, I lower it slightly, replied the heron. And when the wind blows even harder? Jackal asked. Then I lower it some more, just like it is now, said the heron while she was swallowing something scrumptious. What do you do when it blows a real gale? Inquired the jackal, pretending to show much interest. I lower it like this, right down as far as it will go, said the silly bird, lowering her head right down to demonstrate to the jackal what she meant. The jackal suddenly jumped up unexpectedly and hit the heron's neck so hard that it snapped. To this day, the heron still has a bend in her long neck.